Hi, good morning. Welcome back. This is the last of the New Year New Habits. This is the series here on Mejorar Mi Vida TV. This is the last one, and the last one is by far my favorite because this is something that many of my clients often complain about. And it's, Lizette, I can't get to my personal projects, hobbies, goals. I get it. I totally get it. And the question that I posed was, is it motivation or habit? Well, it's both, plus time. So you definitely have to have the right motivation. We discussed that last week in the video of how to do your daily agenda. And the second part is building the habit. So you have to start implementing something, practicing it every day, observing and modifying to keep doing it, to find that repeat and rinse, or rinse and repeat action. That's what you want at the end of a habit. You want to keep doing it in order for it to become a habit. But most of the time people encounter problems. They say, I can't get to it. I don't like it. This is uncomfortable. Well, that's the observation and tweaking part. Okay. You have to modify. The motivation comes from, well, I really, really want to do it, but why? Is there a bigger reason? This is a big anchor why people don't get to their personal goals or goals in general. But the last one is the most important. It's time. I didn't put it on there because a lot of people say, I just can't get to it. That's a lie. That's a lie. You can get to it, but that one takes a lot more effort because that requires for you to track your time. Number one suggestion, track your time. Analyze what you're doing. So it's going to take us some time to analyze what you're up to. And at the end, you're going to decide, well, if it's really real what you're doing. Because after you come to track your time and you analyze, you're going to ask yourself the right questions to see if you actually want to go through with modifying your schedule. For example, a lot of people say, Lizette, I can never get to my hobbies anymore. I just don't have hobbies. I hear you. And my problem is because I'm a busybody. I always find other things to do other than to quiet my brain enough to do the things that I want to do, right? If this is your problem, then you have to ask all the questions that I have on my web with finding out if you're a busybody. Another one is, why are you not respecting your time? What are you doing that you keep disrespecting your time? Do you give it to someone else? Do you give it to something else? What are you afraid of? What is it that, is it because you do need a quiet mind to do your activity? Sometimes we don't want our minds to be quiet, so we end up watching a Netflix series and then that's it. But most of our hobbies include complete concentration on something else, or a personal goal requires a lot of concentration. So those are the things that I believe that you need in order to get to your personal hobbies, which is time. So on my website, my blog explains a little bit more, but it also has a worksheet that you can download, and there's a bunch of questions on there for you to analyze what you're doing and what are you using to track your time. I normally do just paper and pen and a watch. I normally just track it that way, and I do it all day. And I know where my time is going, and that's one way. But we will find out more this week because I have a special guest on Friday that will give us more advice and tips that we can use for tracking our time. But today's is super easy because it's basically a piggyback on last week's. So if you have any questions, please email me. My suggestions are easy because it takes a lot of time later for you to analyze. So I can tell you go track your time, but then you're gonna be like, what? I don't want to. Well, go do it because you will find out where it's going, and then you can ask yourself, why am I not respecting my time? Or can I delegate this to someone? And why can't I delegate this? I mean, what is the problem here? What is it? I'm not working fast enough, or I just don't want to give it to someone. I don't want to pay for the service. All these things come into play, but it's on my blog and it's on the worksheet. And that's it for my 4-part series on New Year, New Habits. I hope that you got a few nuggets that you can start your year off with something to grab onto. If you're going to practice these each month, each week, in order for you to be successful at the end of your goal. Next month in February, because it's the month of love, we're going to be talking about making connections and friends. So stay tuned for that. And I'll see you every Monday here on Mejorar Mi Vida. Thanks, guys.